Hey everybody, Zachary Weiss here, and it's been a while since I've done a video, and I know the last one was top 10 wrestlers I've met, and I feel like the list has changed since then, but I figured I'd try to run through some of the stuff that I've gotten between the summer and until now, and I kind of divided this into three different categories: the summer stuff, the Starrcast stuff, and the stuff after Starrcast. I feel like that's the best way to do it, and this is only some of it. I know I'm forgetting some of the stuff, like off the top of my head, I had a Mick Foley as Cactus Jack 8x10 that said, "To Zach, bang bang," and he signed it. I don't have that with me, but I've done this so many different times that I've wanted to do this, and I finally have time to do it now. So we're just gonna go with it. We're gonna do it live. So, well, live right now, but you'll see the playback. First piece was this Raw magazine. I hope this comes out nice on camera. You have Billy Gunn, who, mind you, is one of the firmest handshakes you will ever have. That dude is jacked. But yes, this is him signing a DX cover to Zach. He put DX HOF 2019. I asked him to throw a suck it on there. He put it over here, which when I mailed this to Tennessee when Road Dogg was signing at a Comic-Con, my friend Matt Reese got the other end of this for me, where he put, "Oh, you didn't know," Road Dogg did. So that's kind of why it looks a little uneven, but it's a nice piece, and it's protected again thanks to Matt. So Matt's not the first WCC member that's going to get a shout out in this video, but really, really nice that he did that. Also, I'll put all this together. This is an 8x10. Alicia Atoot sent me this 8x10, which is to Zach, the interview queen, and she signed it, and included a business card and a little note that says, "Hope this arrives on an amazing day. Thank you so much for the amazing support." Signed it and put her feed. And Alicia's killing it, been killing it, and she just signed a multi-year deal with MLW today, and very deserving, just one of the sweetest people you'll absolutely meet. So I cannot say enough nice things about Alicia, and I'll say more later. So, Alicia Atoot. Did the same thing. Aubrey Edwards, the AEW referee, sent me this, which was to Zach, History Made, AEW All Out, and then she dated the All Out. Basically, this was a female referee main eventing as the referee for was the Jericho and Hangman Page match in AEW, and then she signed it. And just, again, very, very nice. Cannot say enough about her, but I will again later. I guess that's another tease as well. This is another piece that was sent for me. I believe it was Northeast Wrestling, so NEW. Big Cass was there before he had the stuff that happened that was well publicized, and he signed it. Stay strong. He's had his demons in the past, and I've had some health demons in the past of my own, so to be able to connect to them on this level, and again, another WCC hookup here. So again, the people at Wrestling Cards and Collectibles, just it's not all about cards and collectibles. We're a lot of us are friendly or friends in the group, so it's very, very nice that I got that support there. Also, these were all from my friend Richie, who hooked me up. Richie will help me out with autograph signings every now and again. This might be Kamala's last ever signing. This was a mail-in signing, and Kamala signed it. He's not in the best of health, so the fact that that was even a possibility is very, very nice. So that's Kamala. Forgive me for a second. I'm going to try to reorganize everything so it doesn't fall apart. This is Sarah Schreiber. You'll recognize her from WWE. And she wrote, "To my guest at this time, Zach," and signed it. There, it's in focus now. So there was that one. This was Nigel McGuinness, and he wrote, "We are NXT" on it. Really nice handwriting and a nice signature. I actually picked these up. I was in New York City in October, so I actually met in person with Richie to pick these up. This is my favorite one of the lot that he gave me, that I got signed. Scarlett Bordeaux was very, very much making headlines in the independent wrestling scene. Now she's actually with NXT, so this was right before she got signed by NXT. But to Zach, and speaking of Alicia, this was a line she gave Alicia. I believe this was an Impact taping where it says, "Shut up, 5 of 10 is talking," and she signed it, and I thought that'd be cool to have on there, and she obliged. This next one is actually from another WCC member who helped me out. This is from Scott Steiner, Papa Pump, and he personalized it, so there was that. now the rest of this, a lot of this stuff now is going to be Starrcast stuff. I was going to shoot a specifically individual video for Starrcast and things I got, and I just figured after a while, I gave up, and I just figured I'd lump stuff together. So some of this I got from Starrcast, some of this I picked up at Don West, dealer Don West's table, and as a holder, I guess I got the biggest package they had in terms of wristband. I got a platinum bracelet, so I got a special discount there, and Don was making deals all 2 days of Starrcast. So some of these are from there, some of these were from Starrcast itself that I picked up in person, and some of these were the Black Friday Bonanza bucket that Starbucks, whatever, Starrcast all sent in. There's a botch. Last day, I actually picked up this Sting. Don was trying to get rid of stuff at the end. I don't know why this is coming in so blurry, but yeah, I was told, hey, do you have $5? And this was it. And Sting signed that earlier in the day, so that's nice. Also got another Sting. This was from the Black Friday Bonanza box. This one signed in the bronze Sharpie. So 2 Stings. This was also in the Black Friday Bonanza box. Brian Cage, he's someone that I definitely want to try to meet next year. This year has been great in terms of broadening my horizons with the wrestlers that I've met, not just being WWE. This year I've really, really opened my eyes to a lot of more promotions, and I really, really think that Brian Cage seems like a really nice guy, someone I want to meet. And then the last autograph in that box, the Bonanza box, because he got 3, was Eric Bischoff. I won't go too much into Eric Bischoff. The back looks like it's seen better days and it was sitting somewhere, but Eric Bischoff... I will say at Starrcast, I got the chance to see him again for a brief moment while I was in Arn Anderson's line, just because he had no line, and you guys remember or some of you remember the picture where he gave me both middle fingers, so I showed him, and he was laughing, and he wanted to see the picture again, and he showed a couple people, so that was nice. Picked this up at Don West's table. This was a Taz. Just had so many people I was meeting at Starrcast on both days, so... I think I met 30-something wrestlers in over 2 days, so there was just no time to meet Taz, unfortunately. I would have loved to have met Taz just to say I met Taz, but because he doesn't do many signings, but there's Taz. Same thing with Bruce Pritchard. This was from another Starrcast previously, so that was nice. This is a botch as well. This is from another one of my friends that does private signings. Lewis, and he got me this from the Lucha Bros. Really nice and clean 8x10. More on Lucha Bros later. Also picked this up at the table, which was the John Moxley. This was another Don West table. I did not meet Mox. I had others that I was meeting that day, so I passed. Another botch. This is a Mike Rome also from Richie, wrote Raw. So that was nice. Moving on to Arn Anderson. This is the first of 2 Arn pieces. Arn was just pre-signing 8x10s for everybody, and I actually had something else for him to sign, which is why I said 1 of 2 items. And this is similar build-up to what they gave a lot of the legends for the Saturday signings at Starrcast, and he ended up just giving this to me afterwards because he had already signed it, which was a nice gesture by him. So, good on you, Arn. This is an 8x10. This is Cody and Brandy. I met them on Friday at Starrcast. You'll notice, even though it kind of doesn't really show, that only Brandy signed this. There's a reason for that. I'll show you what Cody signed very shortly, but yes, Brandy signed this 8x10. It was good to meet both. I'll give you more on that later. This was B. Priestley. I definitely wanted to meet B. Priestley. A lot of people seem to realize that I really enjoy meeting the women's wrestlers. I feel like the women's wrestling does not get enough respect, and it's starting to, but there's a lot to be desired in terms of support for women's wrestling. There's those that support women's wrestling, but I think that unfortunately the women still don't get the respect that they deserve. And Bea Priestley is even underrated right now in AEW, and hopefully she makes a title run soon. But just super sweet. She added Top Gaijin on there, personalized it. Very nice full signature. She was very, very nice to meet. Obviously, she spends time between here and spends time in Japan. Obviously, Will Ospreay's over there as well, and those two are together, so good to meet Bea. This might be one of my favorite 8x10s. I just put this in absolute random order, so that explains a couple of the botches. I met SCU, and all 3 signed it, so that's Frankie Kazarian, Christopher Daniels, and Scorpio Sky. You see the other 2, CD and Kazarian, both signed it regularly, and I had Scorpio kind of go on gimmick, and he wrote, "This is the worst autograph I've ever given." Just totally on brand. Let me see if I can zoom that in a little bit. It's tough with the black Sharpie, but they were all very, very nice, and when they did the picture with me, I asked them if they could pose with the belts, so I got to pose with the belts with them, which is nice. Back to Aubrey Edwards. It was finally nice to meet her. We had kind of been talking on and off on Instagram, so I saw her, introduced myself, and she was happy to meet me, and she gave me a hug. We smiled. We did 2 pictures, the regular smiling picture, and then there's one, it's on my Instagram, at Zachary M. Weiss, cheap plug, where looked like she was about to throw me out, and normally you're only supposed to get 1 picture, and Aubrey said, "Hey, we're going to do 2 pictures," and the handler's like, "Okay, sure." And she wrote, "To Zach, you're amazing, stay that way," and she signed it. So that's another very nice piece. Aubrey is just so sweet. She's worth meeting if you ever get a chance to meet her. This camera just does not want to stay in focus. There we go. Sorry about the fingers there. Got to meet Dr. Britt Baker. Pittsburgh meeting Pittsburgh there. She gave a nice full Dr. Britt Baker signature. And then there's no DMD on there, which is fine. Apparently she wasn't feeling well the whole weekend, and she still toughed everything out, and she won her pre-show match at Full Gear against B. Priestley, so kind of ended that feud. And then she added, upon request, "The doctor will see you now," so it's nice to meet Britt. You guys are noticing that the 8x10s for the AEW performers have a very similar background, and almost kind of has one of those retro trading card kind of feels, so that's kind of cool. Met Jimmy Havoc, met him for my friend Pat, also from WCC, and took care of it for myself, had him write to Zach, and then obviously, "I hope you suffer." That's the saying that he's known for when he's not stapling people's noses and other things together. And I had him write the same for Pat, so Pat was very happy as well. I met the Young Bucks. They were, I believe, the first that I met, and with that one I was with Floyd and Tiffany, who are AEW super fans and just the nicest people. If you ever go to an AEW event and you're close to the front, at a pay-per-view, you'll see them. You'll see them at a Starrcast. They're such nice people, and seriously, if you get the chance to meet them, they're so happy to meet you, to talk to. They're so down to earth. And they also have a podcast as well, so I'll give you a cheap plug to listen to their podcast. I'll put the link in the description to their latest episode, and you guys can kind of listen in from there. But yes, the Young Bucks, it was so nice to meet Matt and Nick. They were just so nice. They took their time with everybody. They were exactly as nice as advertised. Where'd you come from? Are you going to the pay-per-view? Very basic questions. They personalized it, and they put a Be Elite on there, and they both signed it, and they did the pictures with them. A lot of these pictures were professional. A lot of them they were cell phone pictures. This was more professional. So they were professional. Sting was professional. Mox was professional. Cody and Brandy were professional. The Great Muta was professional. Sting was professional. I might be missing somebody. I don't know. Back to the Lucha Bros again. You guys know that I am very, very positive when I say to meet people. The Lucha Brothers were the only meh experience that I had. They were pre-signing everything, which they signed here. They were pre-signing it. They had already written it before I'd even come to the table. There was the handshake like that, which was nice, but then they did the pictures, and it just seemed in and out. There wasn't really much personal, and with a meet and greet, I love the personal kind of tie to it. I like the opportunity to interact with them, and I asked them, "Hey, can you put Cero Miedo on there? That's your saying." And I repeated it, could you put Cero Miedo on there? At that point, I kind of figured that because it was so rushed, I was either going to get the 2 Zach on there, or I was going to get the Cero Miedo on there, and I figured I might as well just get the catchphrase. It'll be cool. But Pentagon just seemed so confused by the request, so I repeated it, and then he just goes and signed it. I mean, I've heard good things about them. I don't know if it was just that they were rushed, they were just nervous, they just didn't want to be there, whatever it was, but this was definitely the least memorable for me. It wasn't bad, but I mean, it wasn't memorable. Really, there were only 2 other meet and greets, which was Sheamus, which was probably, I'll take the fault on that one. Hey, do you remember this match? And when I was young as a wrestling fan, of course he's not going to remember one match, even if he came back from injury. And Lita, I would say, is my fault because of the whole Edge, Lita, Matt Hardy thing. I guess maybe she it was maybe brought up some old wounds and it was made her uncomfortable. But that one I can't take any blame for. It definitely wasn't a memorable meet and greet, which is a shame. Next were, I'll just put these together, the Crockett's, David and Jim. This was a rare public appearance that both of them were together. I asked them to put two Zach on there. Jim did, spelled it wrong, but he tried. And then David put it on there, and then we did the picture. They were in a kind of a separate-ish area. But no, they were nice. They actually had a panel the day before on the Friday, and it was probably about an hour and a half, 2 hour panel, and they stayed and talked with anybody that wanted to meet, and people were taking pictures. I could have just taken it then, would have saved myself a lot of money, but I knew I was meeting them the next day, so I just let everybody else have their time, and you know what? It's good on them that they stayed. It was nice. Joey Janelle actually made fun of them later on because I guess he viewed the panel as boring and it went as overtime, or he was just playing to the crowd, and he called them Stadler and Waldorf, or Waldorf and Statler, the two little Muppet movie reviewers or whatever. So he poked fun at their expense, but their impact and what they've meant on wrestling history really doesn't need to be stated. So good on them, and they talked to everybody too at the thing. It wasn't just in and out 30 seconds. You had to spend a minute or two with them. You got to talk about the Crockett Cup, about tag team, things like that. So that was nice. I got to meet Shazza McKenzie. She was super sweet. I wish she had more of a line, but she was just so nice. She spent time talking to everybody that was there. I know we talked about the state of Australian wrestling for a couple minutes, which unfortunately it isn't much just because it's so far away to get to anywhere, but you have Tennille Dashwood, who's been doing good things, and now she's landed with Impact for the time being. You have the Iconics, who were tag champs earlier. You have so much positivity going in Australian wrestling. Hopefully it catches on, and hopefully AEW can hashtag sign Shazza McKenzie. She's such a talented wrestler, and she'd fit so great. And the women's division, I think, still is a work in progress, because I think they're still looking for the right fits. They have some good characters who've come in. Namely, it seems like Big Swole has a great theme. She has a unique look to her, and she's very good in the ring. So definitely recommend it. Meeting Shazza, she's just a sweetheart. I think I said that about so many of the women's wrestlers, but they're so nice, and no exception here. So good meeting her. Nyla Rose, also really, really good to meet. Asked to personalize it. She liked that my name was just spelled ZAC. She liked that it was unique, and she even commented on it to someone she met after, so that was cool. But yeah, she was nice. It was good meeting her. Santana and Ortiz, again, I hope they get more of a push in the tag division. Just two nice guys. They were good to meet. I was happy to meet them. They were great as LAX, and I think they'll do great here as well in AEW as part of the Inner Circle. The Yeti was there first regularly. I had a friend that worked for Starrcast that was with the Yeti, and he was not in his rap costume yet, so I got to meet the Yeti, and I was actually in line to meet the Great Muta, teaser for later, I guess, and I got the text from him, hey, Yeti's in full rap, you might want to come back over. So I went back and got to meet the Yeti in full gimmick, and we did the hugging pose and everything, so just great to meet the Yeti. And the Yeti doesn't just show for anything either, so he was very, very nice to meet. Sammy Guevara, I really was excited to meet him. His YouTube channels, must-watch YouTubing for me every single week. Just such a character, taking the selfie to the ring. Really, he did what Tyler Breeze couldn't do in WWE, which is make this stick. And he's such a good following. And no offense to Tyler Breeze, really good dude, but Sammy's taken the opportunity. He's fantastic in the ring. He makes everybody who's in the ring with him look good. So, Sammy Guevara personalized it and added Spanish God. So it was nice. A little bit bummed I didn't make the YouTube channel, but I guess I only can be on one YouTube channel at a time. Got to meet the Shockmaster, and the whole thing was you got to wear the mask, and you got to put your arm out and pose and everything. Shockmaster, super nice. I did the little tugboat noise, and the handler actually, or the person that was working Starrcast at his area, just heard Shockmaster make the noise and said the child in me is marking. So good experience. Shockmaster's the nicest guy. Penelope Ford was super sweet. Good meeting her. She was with Kip. It was a little bit weird because they were together, and I felt bad for not meeting Kip, but I wanted to meet Penelope, mostly because of the whole AIW. She wrestled in the AIW promotion in the Ohio and close enough to here, so had to go there, meet her. Melina was a surprise. I didn't know she was going to be there. Uh, this isn't exactly an 8x10, so the sizing was a little bit weird, but Melina had no line almost the entire weekend. She put all with all the love in the world. We did several pictures, and then she talked to me for 5 minutes. I know this is the case with a lot of the time with when she meets fans. The line isn't necessarily long, but she likes to talk to fans, and it was such a good experience talking to her about how she feels the women's division is progressing, and are women becoming independent with calling spots, or can this be sustained? And it seems like she's happy with being in NWA, which is really, really thriving as a promotion now. You have more and more names that are over there. Obviously, Nick Aldis is a huge name that's in that promotion. So, yeah, a lot to be proud of over there, and it seems like she's in a good spot. And we're referencing WWE. She said she liked being the referee in that spot with the anniversary. It was a nice tie to the end of her career. She's not really defined by money anymore. She really goes for the opportunity and happiness, and that's worth more to her. And you know what? Good for her. She's earned every bit of it. So good for her. And really, Melina's a good one to meet. And it's $20 for an autograph and a photo. I thought, why not? I mean, I felt bad that she didn't have a line, and I know she loves interacting with her fans, and I was really felt privileged to interact with her. I'm going to try to speed this up. We're already at 21 minutes. Great Muda. Shout out to Floyd for letting me be in the picture, and he gave me the autograph because he doesn't really collect autographs. But Muda he was rather quiet, but he was in the mask and everything, so he was in costume with Sonny Ono. And Sonny Ono apparently had some serious, I don't know if it was kidney problems or what, but he had health challenges and he was still there, so good for him. Rock and Roll Express, Peter Avalon, Orange Cassidy, Private Party, Ron Simmons, and Road Warrior Animal were all purchases at the Don West booth. I'm trying to speed this up a little bit. That was probably these were each $5 or $10 a pop, so I figured why not. This was what I had Cody sign. It is the PWI. I had Dustin Rhodes sign this as well. I told Brandy, hey, you're in the family. You can sign this if you'd like, and she kind of turned it down, which was a bummer. But you can see Cody wrote make him say on there, which he said I wasn't the first to ask, and I said, well, Cody, I won't be the last. So we laughed about that. Then he signed it there. And then Dustin signed it right here and wrote the natural on there. He added that to the signature, and he took his time as well. Just a very, very nice guy, so it was good meeting them. Winding down on my Starrcast stuff here. Here are the two magazines. These are the last two things from Starrcast. I'll show the Arn one first, which I had him add the Tuzak, and he put the trademark 4 on there. And then Magnum TA signed. I tried to push it towards him. This is where he could reach. Of course, right now, Magnum TA, obviously, with what everybody knows what happened with Magnum TA, or else there's people to think he would have been what Sting was, or would have been comparable to Sting, if not better. So it's a shame what happened to Magnum TA, but he's still doing conventions, still signing for the fans. And it was nice to see, and he was in very positive spirits, so Magnum TA, very, very nice guy to meet, and again, unfortunately, just not much of a line, which was a bummer, because just, dude was nice. Shout out to my friend Brandon, a.k.a. Hova. He told me about Magnum TA being nice, and obviously maybe not in the best of health even regardless, so good for him. Oh, and I lied, one more thing, I did meet Riho. And she was one of the ones, I think she was the first one I bought. I was really excited to meet her, and I knew that she was going to write a lot on the 8x10. Just quick to give everybody high fives. I got a hug, which was nice. She made it out to Zach. She put AEW. She put thank you, signed her name, a nice full signature. So, and she had the title with her, which was cool. And when you posed with her, you got the title. You got the title around you. So, a few pins. These were all these two, as well as this one, and this one were all from the Starrcast Thanksgiving Black Friday Bonanza box. So those were the Starrcast 2, the AEW All Out, the Yeti, the Starrcast 3, and Primetime with Sean Mooney. And the ones they already gave me were the Starrcast 4 and the Halloween Hangover, which I got to get in for free. It was basically you got there for breakfast, and they had chicken and waffles and all kinds of other things. breakfast burgers, almost like a hangover burger, so that was cool. And the very last thing, I know I've said that about 3 times, the last thing from Starrcast was one of the first things I bought, which was this cool little Nitro Tony Schiavone number to 100. Specifically, this is number 5 out of 100, Monday Night Nitro canvas piece. So Don West is selling this. I believe this was normally $80 to $100, and I paid $20-$30 for it. And I knew I couldn't meet Tony because I missed being there a day early. I couldn't get off of work, so I got to meet, I guess that was my Tony item that I was going to meet. Otherwise, I was going to meet him, and I was going to be really happy about that. Another signed item. This again from my friend Lewis, the private signing. He hooked me up. Teal Piper, a.k.a. Roddy Piper's daughter. I tried to figure out what I wanted her to sign, so I looked on for famous quotes online, and I borrowed a Roddy Piper quote. So, to Zach, sooner or later, everybody pays the Piper. Signed it Teal Piper. So, I gave them the choice of 2 quotes, and that's what they went with, so that was pretty cool. Coming down to the home stretch, got 4 items left. This one's Kane's autobiography. I really haven't gotten around to it much, if at all, yet. I'm only on chapter 2. That's kind of my bookmark. It's kind of cool with how he signed it. I believe he did this for everybody because he signed Mayor Kane and then added the Glenn Jacobs on there, the Glenn Kane Jacobs. So you got both signatures out of that. I'm trying to carefully close this not to damage the flap and also to get my spot back. So that leads me to the last 3 items, which are Steel City Comic-Con from earlier this month. The first item, I met Lita again. I gave myself another chance after the whole debacle with the whole Edge Matt Hardy thing, which again I'll take some blame for. Still not really a memorable signing because of it. She kept saying, glad I could finish the set. It was really bizarre. But this one went much smoother. The person I was secret standing for in WCC had Lita listed first, so I got the 8x10, so it gave me reason. And I already had her autobiography, but it was so tough because I didn't want her just to write Lita, to Zach Lita, and put the Hall of Fame and the year on there. So I was trying to figure out what I wanted on there. Watched the Hall of Fame speech, I had a suggestion, nothing. It was a 30-minute speech. There wasn't really any famous quote. I didn't want to put Team Bestie because it wasn't a book she wrote with Trish, so I had to go to a Ring song, and you'll see on here, to Zach, I've got to release all the blank that makes up my past, and then signed it Lita and Amy Duma, her actual name, which was especially cool. But the one botch, I guess, was that she put makes instead of made, and it could have just been a mistake I made when I wrote it down there. But honestly, I liked the mistake because, quite frankly, every single day when you wake up, in my opinion, you have the demons that you had, and it's up to you whether you want to pick yourself back up or if you want to wallow in them and live and dwell on them. And most people choose not to dwell on them. And I generally view myself, even though I write sports, as mostly a glass half full person. And in college, I was not that way. And there were times when I wasn't that way, and I'm sure that's the same for a lot of people. So every day, I've got to release all the S that makes up my past. And most of that S was college, and obviously some national stuff that happened last year. So every day, you just choose not to let that define you, and you just decide to be the better person. So there's that. This is not a completed product yet, this next one, but I met Devon Dudley. The line wasn't that long. I guess people thought that he was overcharging. It was $60 for an auto and a photo, so, I mean, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, but Devon's one of the nicest that I've met just because he took his time with everybody. There was no one behind me, just like with Lita, so I got 5 minutes with Lita and a hug at the end. Devon actually spent a minute trying to figure out what paint pen worked best at the table, when he finally decided on the silver. And the handler goes, okay, what do you want this to be signed? Do you want it personalized? So I said, yes, I wanted Zach on there. So he said, Zach. So he said, okay, how do you spell it? I spelled it out for him. Not like Enzo or Cass, I actually spelled it out for him. But really, it was just a matter of, look, I want him to write, oh, my brother, testify. And the handler goes to Devon and goes, he wants you to personalize it for my brother, testify. And Devon gives him this look like, oh, you're putting this person over, because obviously Devon's a backstage person now. And I go, no, 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 Devon, it's, oh, my brother testify. He goes, okay, gotcha. And he laughed. And I said, he goes, is that all that you want on there? And I said, hey, whatever you want to do, you're the captain. And he goes, so I've been told. So we actually talked, and it was nice as he's writing it out. And there's a Pittsburgh house show actually on Friday, and I don't think I'm going to be able to make it, but he told me, yes, he'll be there. He'll be backstage producing it with Finley, and he'll be producing it with Jason Jordan. For those of you that don't know, Jason Jordan has officially retired from in-ring competition. He's working backstage, and Devon says he's enjoying it and he's excelling at it. And of course, now Jason Jordan is having his first child, so he's going to be a father. So congratulations to Jason Jordan on that. Congratulations on finding an outlet after what could have been such a devastating injury that would bring most people down. Jason Jordan's found his camaraderie and found his brotherhood backstage and kept with WWE, and good on WWE for sticking with him too. So it's good. It was good to see that. Then I got Devon's opinion on the women's division, and you could tell he wasn't in any rush. There was no lines, so he was enjoying talking to me, and the handlers gathered around him too and got to listen to him talk and drop some knowledge. So, you know what? It was a good experience all around, and here's a piece. To Zach, best wishes. To my brother, O Testify, Devon Dudley 3D. So he added a lot more than what I'd asked for, which was super sweet. Only once before with Charlotte Flair at AwesomeCon in DC did someone say, what color paint pen would you like me to use? And no one's ever said, is that all you want me to write on there? So just Devon, for the $60, people will complain, oh, you paid too much. It's about the experience for me. It's not necessarily about the money. And this is one of the best experiences I've ever had because he treated me like an equal in those 3 or 4 or 5 minutes. So huge thanks to Devon. And the last one I'll do is Trish Stratus. I got the SummerSlam plaque, and it was something that I'd really been looking forward to. And Edmund from earlier that I mentioned from WCC had a pop that he wanted signed of Trish, so it all worked out. I wanted Trish to personalize it to me, and then just what she thought of the match. She got about an extra minute or two because of 2 autographs, so I used Edmund's paint pen, and she wrote, Zach, my farewell match, and then signed it. Signature stayed the same over the years pretty much, so she was so happy to see the plaque and that someone brought the plaque, so that was the conversation. She loved the paint pen. She was surprised the paint pen worked on the pop in that color, so she was marking out over the paint pen. But yeah, it was a really nice piece, and yeah, it was a good time at Steel City Comic Con. I also got to meet Carmen Electra and Tony Danza there, but those aren't wrestling, so move on with that. But yeah, pretty much that's it for wrestling. That now tabulating up the list, I have met 178 wrestlers at least once, which is crazy to think about. Upcoming plans, I'll be in the front row at the NXT Pittsburgh house show. That is January 10th. And then I just got a VIP for when Fozzy comes to Pittsburgh. I've already met Jericho, but there's things I need to talk to Jericho and that I want him to sign, so I'm really, really excited to meet Jericho again, and hopefully I'll meet, top on my list, hopefully they haven't revealed the roster yet. I'd love to see Keith Lee again. I would really like to see most, though, probably Rhea Ripley, and this was the feeling before the title, which hopefully now that she's won the title, she'll be coming. Would love to see Shayna Baszler again, and really want to see Bianca Belair. Wanted to meet her at Access, and I got some wrong information on the line, and had a picture I wanted her to sign, so that was a major bummer. But yeah, all told, really, really happy with all these, and there's a couple things like the Mick Foley I forgot to show, and the Gable I forgot to show, and he was super nice. I don't even know if I showed the meeting. I met Paige when Raw was here last, so yeah, just a lot of good stuff and good vibes. But yeah, I'll cut it short here. We're at 33 minutes already, which is crazy, and I thought I was moving pretty quickly, and it goes to show you I wasn't. But hope everybody enjoys their Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever they celebrate. Enjoy it. Enjoy it with those around you. Drink one for me if that's your thing. Open an extra present or give an extra present if that's your thing. And have a happy, healthy New Year, and we'll see you guys on the next one.